UV nails. Before turning your lamp on, check the positioning of the bulb so you can easily place your nails directly under the light for best curing. Some units feature automatic timers, and some are specially designed to work on toenails as well as the hands. It is important to always use the gel which is recommended for your UV lamp. If you use a gel that isn't recommended for your lamp, then the gel may not cure, or heat spikes may occur during curing, which can result in the gel weakening or yellowing. The extension tips each have a number at the end showing size. The well area. This is the area which varies the most from tip to tip. Here we have a full cover well, which gets trimmed to size and is suitable for all nails. White tips are used for a French polish finish. These usually have pre-cut well areas to ensure the smile line is perfect every time. The stop point is the ridge, where the well area meets the thicker section of the tip. Finally, the C-curve. If your nails are very flat or have a deep C-curve, you may need to try different shape tips to find ones to suit. Preparing the tips. Cut and file back your natural nails to a uniform length, ideally about 2 to 3 millimeters long. Always file from the outside towards the center. Avoid a sawing action, as this may tear the nail. Choosing the correct nail extension tip for each finger is very important. The tip should not be too small. It is actually better to choose a tip extension which is slightly wider than the natural nail, and file it down to fit rather than work with one that is too small. Place the stop point against the free edge of the nail. Trim the base of the extension so that no more than 1/3 of your nail is covered. This is important as the strength of the final result relies on the bond between the gel and the natural nail. If too much of the nail is covered by the extension tip, the bond will be weak. Neaten up the edges of each extension once it has been trimmed, and if necessary, pre-blend the edge with a grit file so that the well area is thin and tapers to the end. Keep the file fairly flat and horizontal to the nail extension. Do not pre-blend white tips. Do this for all 10 extensions and arrange them so that you know which is for each finger. Preparing the nails. Remove any existing nail polish with a polish remover and wash and dry hands thoroughly. Now follow the 4 steps which are common to all nail extension treatments. Push, buff, brush, wipe. We will show each of these steps in depth as good nail preparation is essential. You will find it easier to work on one hand at a time. Push. Using a hoof or orange stick, very gently push back the cuticle and remove any residual skin on the nail plate. Be very thorough. The dead skin must be removed as it will cause the gel to lift. Buff. Use the white block in the direction of the nail growth. Gently remove the surface shine from the entire nail. Pay particular attention to the cuticle and sides of the nail. Brush. Brush away any dust. Wipe. Wipe finishing wipe or nail prep over the entire nail surface, including the cuticle area, to remove all surface oils. If you accidentally touch the nail surface with your fingers at any point after this, you must re-wipe the nail plate. Applying the nail extension tips. Apply a thin line of nail glue onto the well of the tip. Tap the tip sharply to remove any excess glue. Hold the tip at an angle to the nail plate. Then bring the tip up to the free edge. Tilt and slide the nail tip onto the nail plate so that the natural free edge sits snugly against the stop point of the tip. Press and hold the tip in position for about 5 seconds or until an airtight bond occurs. Ensure the bonded area beneath the nail extension is sealed and contains no gaps. This will prevent the trapping of water and dirt. Apply all 5 tips in this manner, then clip and file to the required length. If you are not used to having long nails, cut the tips to a sensible length, as knocking and banging the nails will weaken them. If your tips have been pre-blended correctly, you can conceal the seam by simply buffing over lightly with the white sanding block until the seam is barely visible. Some people like to blend the edge with a cotton bud dipped into the acetone solution. Rub vigorously until the seam begins to blend, then buff with the white sanding block. Do not use too much acetone or the nail tip bond will be weakened. Neaten the sides of the nail extension using the file so they are straight, and remove any wings but do not overfile. Repeat for each nail. Applying the UV gel and curing. Brush one very thin coat of primer lightly over each nail. Wait for a minute or so for the primer to dry. Too much primer can cause a burning sensation. Should this occur, tap the nails against a hard surface until the burning sensation passes. This usually takes between 15 to 20 seconds. Scoop a small amount of gel and apply a thin coat to the surface in the same manner as you would nail polish. Always leave a 1 mm gap from the cuticle and work towards the free edge. Finish off by brushing across the free edge of the extension tip. Do not allow gel to touch the nail bed or cuticles. If gel accidentally comes into contact with the skin, remove using a cotton bud dipped in finishing wipe. Repeat this process only on the nails on the fingers. Leave the thumbs to treat separately. Turn on your UV lamp about a minute before using. UV bulbs take a short while to warm up to full strength. Cure the nails under the UV light for the recommended amount of time. This varies, so check the instructions for your lamp. Remember, your UV lamp emits intense light, so do not stare directly at the light source. Also, it is important to keep your UV gel away from your lamp and other sources of UV light, such as sunlight, whilst the pot is open. When you remove your hand from the lamp, you will see that the surface of the gel is still tacky. This is completely normal. Do not remove this tacky layer, but apply another layer of gel over the top. Cure again. If you are using a single bulb lamp, you may want to roll your fingers a little to ensure the light reaches the whole of the nail surface. Apply a third layer of gel and cure one more time. After the third layer, remove the tacky surface with the finishing wipe. Always wipe away from the cuticle and use a fresh pad for each nail to avoid getting tacky gel onto your skin. Once all the fingers are done, work on the thumb in exactly the same way and cure, making sure your thumbnails are directly under the bulb. File